What is good, everybody? It's your boy Big Zach 617, Woke to the World podcast and TV. Today we are at episode 22 with my man Lloyd Legacy Shire. How are you doing, my G?
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, brother.
Oh man,
So
I'm marveling at this place still.
Yeah. Appreciate it. You know, powered by Groundbreaker Enterprises. One of the questions I wanted to dive straight into with you was, what got you into comedy?
Oh man, no linear path, as they say. So, stand-up comedy is something I've always enjoyed it.
Yep.
Didn't think it was something I'd ever do.
Yep.
I didn't even know that there was a scene, I know that there's like local comedy, but like I didn't know that there was a scene where people could just go and open mic sign up. I thought it was like, you know, because I know obviously you've had Louis come out of here, you've had, you know, Dane Cook, you know, Sandler up north, you know, I know people come from Boston.
Right.
I just didn't know it was publicly accessible. I didn't know you could just go up, because I know music has an independent scene, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't know comedy had anything similar. So how I got into it, after years of having people say, oh, Lloyd, you should be an actor. Lloyd, you should do comedy. Lloyd, you should do improv. You should do sketch. I'm like, I shouldn't. And so in 2016, I was with a friend of mine who, we were already like not in comedy. We were already friends. We'd already like known each other. And they ended up going to do open mic comedy in Salisbury at a place called the Winter Circle. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go watch you do comedy, and I'm going to sit back as a fan and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting there just watching them do comedy, and they're really good.
Yeah.
But apparently I'm being really supportive, which also apparently was a foreign concept in local comedy, which is kind of distressing.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to my first time at an open mic. It wasn't to do comedy. It was just to watch my friend. And so the showrunner, or the guy who like organizes the room, his name's Dave Radigan. Between him and another comic, I think it might have been a guy named Josh Day. Between those two, they were kind of like, you know, talking with each other. And then I think it was Dave who came over to me. He was like, "Yo, you're really supportive. Do you want to try this?" I'm like, "No, I'm just here to watch my friend. I'm not built for this. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to try it? Because you're really supportive. You got a lot of good energy." "No, I'm just here to watch my friend Jay DeMille." Well, we signed you up. You're up next week." "What?" And that's how I got into comedy.
Okay.
Apparently being supportive is all it takes for somebody to say, you should do this. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I get that sometimes just as a fan. You know, it's just be like, hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, can I just like chill out?
Exactly. Which is all and that's the biggest difference between me and a lot of people who go into comedy. Because like most people, when they're going to go to an open mic, if they're going to do comedy, they know, like, they may not know how to be good yet, but they know, okay, I'm going here to go on stage and try this. I literally had no concept of joke writing, punch, nothing. So, so I end up learning on the job. Like and that's kind of why it took me, like, because I started in 2016. It took me 2 years before I got my first show. I didn't get booked on an actual show. For those who may not know, there's open mics where you practice, and then there's shows where you're in front of people. Yeah. Just like music has open mics, and then you know, it's
100%.
Yes, different but similar.
Yeah, different but similar.
Yeah, the musician over here, he knows.
Yeah.
So, but when you're not there, when you didn't start comedy with the intention of starting comedy, and you know nothing about it, then you're basically learning as you go. So I ended up it took me 2 years to find my voice, as they say, and I got a lot of bad advice from a lot of older vets who, I don't want to say I can't prove they were trying to sabotage me, but others have said they were. So like, because I always had I've been told I've always had stage presence, like stage presence, something that I always had naturally. It's just the writing wasn't there. And I guess if I found the writing that went with my stage presence, I might become a threat to some of these older people. So, but that's how I got into it. I was there to watch a friend of mine, and I was, hey, you're positive and good energy. Do this. Okay.
Because, you know, I guess the positive and good energy has to be like one of the biggest pieces of comedy, right? So
I mean, I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
If it was one of the biggest pieces of comedy, I wouldn't stand out so much for having it.
Yeah.
10 years later, I can say that the stand-up... How can I put this delicately? I love the show.
Yeah.
I hate the business.
Okay, yeah.
As a fellow creative,
Yeah.
you can probably relate to that.
Yeah.
The show was great. The business is necessary.
Yeah. It's necessary.
That's the most affirming thing I can say about it.
Right.
How do you feel about the show? Oh, I love it. How do you feel about the business? It has to happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and I'm probably going to be saying things that, given some of the posts I see you put on Facebook about the music scene, I know I'm going to be echoing some of your thoughts. There's a lot of pride. There's a lot of narcissism. There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of entitlement.
Right.
There's a lot of people thinking they're at a certain level that they might not be at yet, and because people might be willing to be honest with them,
Right.
they are defensive rather than willing to learn.
Right.
And then there are other people.
100%.
There are people who will undercut. The people seeing other people. It shouldn't be as nasty of a business as it is for a local, what's essentially the independent comedy scene,
Right.
as opposed to mainstream where there's contracts and all that stuff. It's like you would think that the independent level, where we can be the most free that we ever would be if we do end up making it one day, like. The independent level, much like with music, is where you have the most freedom. Mm-hmm. Like I remember, because I used to do music independently a long time ago, and that's after I was offered my first record deal and I read it and turned it down. I realized I would just want to stay independent forever.
Right.
But apparently, even at the independent level, in comedy, and music, there's still a whole bunch of nonsense that's just like, can't we just create?
Right.
A business based on making people happy, and we still have to be this miserable to each other. Mm-hmm. So to answer your question, positive energy in comedy isn't as abundant as I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
And like I said, if it was as abundant as it should be, then I probably would have never gotten on stage, because I wouldn't have stood out that night for being so positive.
Right.
That would just be another person in the room. I mean, and I was a fan at that point. I wasn't even a comedian. Like, they don't know me as anything but a guy that was with the person I came to see. Mm-hmm. So if somebody who wasn't even a comic at that point is the most supportive person in the room, where there are other comics, and this open mic has been going on like 10, 15 years before I even got there, what does that say about the rest of the freaking scene?
Yeah. I get what you mean there.
Like, if I'm the exception and not the rule, that's less of a credit to me and more of an indictment of the environment,
right.
in my opinion.
Right.
So that's how abundant positive energy is. Not very.
For sure. The next question I wanted to get to was about your music.
Ah, yes. So, in 2003, my mother passed away. Mm-hmm. And I was 16 years old. How it happened, I know I told the joke on stage that we do live near Fenway Park. We do hear Sweet Caroline through the window, and she did not like that song. Right. I know on stage I told the joke, well, she got tired of hearing the song and she decided that was it. Which, in reality, she died of heart failure in my arms when I was 16 years old. That's not as funny as she hated Sweet Caroline, so she killed herself. Mm-hmm. But in reality, that's how it happened. Mm-hmm. So, like, I gotta kind of retell the story to kind of answer the question where I got to music. Okay, yeah. Because I'm 16. I'm about to be 17 in like 2 months. Yep. And this is I'm junior in high school. Oh, I'm like second to last year in high school. So like college is starting to become a conversation, and looking towards the future, all that stuff. Like, things are starting to. Being an adult is the conversation at this point. Right. And so, I'm already on the brink of getting a potential scholarship to Bunker Hill College, and like all these things are kind of going where they should be. And then in January of 2003, my mother passes. Well, she had a day where she was not well, and unfortunately back then, now but not as much, but back then, for some reason, if you refuse medical attention, they legally could not treat you.
Yeah.
Like that was a thing back then. I guess it still is now, but like also you can press a button to get somebody locked up now, so it's like it's kind of different.
Yeah.
But like back then, again, I'm 16, so I can't really force anybody to do anything. But like my mother was having some issues breathing the previous day, and we called the hospital. We should take you in, because if we don't take you in, you might not. And she's like, no, don't take me in, which was her way of taking herself out without taking herself out, because she didn't believe in offing oneself, but she was also not very happy being alive. So if she just lets her body fail her, then she didn't take herself out, but by not taking medical attention, she also did not save herself.
Right.
She knew what she was doing. So later that night, she's on the floor in the bathroom, and she's not responsive at this point. And my father thinks, well, if we get her medical attention now, she can't say no. Maybe we can save her life. The only situation where a woman not being able to say no is permissible is when you're trying to save her life. Nothing else. So what happened while my father went to get medical attention, she looked at me, she smiled, and then she passed away. At that point, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, because everything that I was kind of gearing up to do it all just flipped on its head. And then the next day, my father almost passes away in the hospital from the shock of it all. Thankfully, he's still here today, but like that's where I was at. So I'm like, how do I deal with this without doing this or doing this? Two things that I never did and don't even do recreationally. But like I felt like if I didn't find some way to deal with my mother dying in my arms suddenly, that I was going to go down like a really weird trajectory.
Right.
So I chose music.
Okay.
My father had bought me like one of those old karaoke like machines, like with the microphones on it from Radio Shack.
Yeah.
That you could like sing into and record on the tape. And so like, and I was big into like MTV Music Generator and Magix and Labs and all this stuff. So I started making my own little song. I started writing and I started recording my own songs at home on a karaoke machine. And that, at first I was just like an outlet. That was just a way for me to try to be constructive and be creative. I wasn't even really planning to do anything with that. And then one day somebody said, hey, we heard you were doing music to cope with your mother's passing. You want to come to the studio? Mm-hmm. And I was around people that, and this is a longer story for a different time, I won't get too much into it, but I was around people that I'm glad that I'm not dealing with anymore, but but they were also doing music. And so like a couple of years later, we were in the studio and we started actually doing started doing music I was recording. Now we're doing it in the studio. Mm-hmm. And I did like 3 studio sessions over the next couple of years worth of music. And that's when I was considering, maybe I can make a go of this. Mm-hmm. At that point, I have no concept of what the music industry is like other than the stories I've heard. But I'm like, hey, I think maybe I can do this.
Right.
Now, Amina Gunn, who works the door and is a DJ, used to work the door at Midway Cafe. Now she's a DJ for karaoke on Thursdays. And I'm pretty sure if the people who are in the music scene, they've probably either seen or heard of Amina Gunn. Mm-hmm. But she was a childhood friend of my mother's, and she was also our neighbor for like many years. And she was around at that point giving me advice. She said, Now I know you're big into the music right now, but I need you to keep in mind that the first deal you ever try to sign, they're gonna fuck you. They're gonna fuck you on your first music deal. Right, don't let them fuck you on a music deal. Either before you sign it, either have a lawyer present or read it yourself. Because they're gonna fuck you. The first deal you ever get is you're gonna get fucked. Right. Like she didn't even mince words. She's like 100%. The first if somebody tries to sign you to a major deal, you're going to get fucked. Yeah. She did not mince words about that. And so I'm like, all right. And fast forward to 2008. Yeah. I had a song on MySpace. Remember MySpace? Right. It was called Respect the Ladies. Yeah. And it was actually gaining a lot of traction.
Okay. Yeah.
Which a song about not disrespecting women in 2008, when that was kind of what
that was the trend. Yeah, that was definitely the trend.
Right. So the fact that song was gaining traction caught the attention of some local eyes, basically. Right, this song should not be doing this well right now, but it is. So this guy, that kind of thing. Yep. So there was a I think they were called Karmaic Records. I might be mispronouncing it. I don't know if they're around anymore. This is 2008. A lot of things are not around anymore. But they were a label subsidy or like a subdivision of Columbia Records.
Okay.
Which, as I've come to find out about Columbia Records, very much of the don't variety. There's a reason John Cena only has one record.
Right.
So anyway, they're a subdivision of them, and I don't have a lawyer present, but they are considering, hey, your song about treating women with decency trending, I mean, like doing well right now. That we should talk. And I'm like, all right, so cool. Maybe they like what I have to offer. Maybe they won't try to mold me into something that I'm not.
Right.
Then I go to the meeting. $2 million guarantee on the deal, which, if you know anything about the music industry, within 6 months, that could be down to like maybe that 1,040. So, because you got to pay, they don't pay for you. You got to pay your own engineering. You got to pay your own studio time. You got to pay your travel. They don't take care of you, not when you first start. So I don't have a lawyer present. I'm listening to what Amina said. I'm reading the contract. I'm reading the entire, it was 500 pages, the entire thing. And I'm reading, which I don't know if that's the standard. For me, I'm like, is this long? Is this short for a deal? I don't know. I've never been in this situation before.
Right.
But I'm reading the whole thing because I remember Amina said, either have a lawyer present or read it yourself. And so, and I'm reading it, and they're trying to, no, don't worry about it, man. Just sign it. It's $2 million. Just sign it. So I'm like, no, I'm going to read this. And I've told the story a million times. In the contract, in so many words, because it was a lot of legalese in there, but like among the things that they wanted me to do, one, I was gonna have a ghostwriter. I was not gonna be allowed to write my own music, at least not for like a certain amount of time. To which I'm already like, okay, that doesn't sound good. But also, because even though me doing Respect the Ladies as a song is what got their attention, apparently, I don't know whether they liked it or not. They clearly knew that if I was going to go above MySpace, that probably wasn't going to sell very well, and so they were going to make me into a caricature. They wanted me to get a piercing in my eye. They wanted me to get a tattoo of like the word women, and then like the circle with the line through it, like on my chest. They wanted me to wear like a blue bandana on one leg, a red bandana on the other. They wanted me to talk with kind of like a thug slang or thug like inflection to kind of make me seem like more of who would be doing something like this, because I don't fit the, which I'm not gonna say I fit the role, but like but still this is what this is what they were asking. And here's the kicker: deep into the contract there was a part of it where they were like, we're gonna put a wire on you, and if you don't play this character for at least, I think it was like 12 or 13 hours out of a 24-hour day, you're in breach of contract. All of this. And I'm just like, no. $2 million ain't worth this.
Right.
No. Like 3.5 years of doing music my way is what basically got your attention. And now you're asking me to throw that all away to become Lil Wayne before Lil Wayne was Lil Wayne.
Right.
So that's how I got in to music. That's how I didn't get any further into music, and I just kept doing music independently. And then like I think I recorded my last song in 2012, and then I was kind of done with it. But like that's my music story in
what kind of music
were you
making?
It was hip hop. It was rap music. Yeah, which is the reason why Respect the Ladies as a song in that genre, I get it. It probably wouldn't have sold or done well, or that style probably wouldn't have done well, but I got your attention because it was doing well in an era where it shouldn't. So why are you going to ask me to change? And so
100%.
I was just like, nope, I'm good. And you know what? There's probably somebody out there for that role. There's probably somebody out there who could do that and not have any problems with it. Not, and more power to them. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
And the stars went out of my eyes that day. I'm like, if I never become famous, I'm okay with that. So let me create whatever I'm doing. Let me create. Let me work. If it takes me there, fine. But if I never become famous and have to do that,
right,
fine.
For sure.
That's my music story.
I love it, man. Let's get into a little bit of like the background of Lloyd Legacy, who is he?
Oh boy. Oh man, I ask myself that every day, at least twice. So, I grew up in Dorchester, as I often mention.
Yeah.
Lived there for 8 years, and then I moved to Roxbury. I don't think it's a stretch to say that I didn't belong in Roxbury and Dorchester. Not my scene.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, and I've told other people this, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it," but it's like, me and my family were bullied out of the neighborhood in Dorchester because to the rest of the neighborhood kids, wasn't black enough. Which, it's the 90s.
Yeah.
I get the idea, the expectation, but like, growing up in Dorchester, and again, I'm not somebody who believes that umbrella labeling is ever fair or correct.
Right.
I did, however, grow up in Dorchester during a time where, whether it was because of struggle, whether it was because of poverty, whether it was because of the need to conform or fit in, or whether it was because people were jerks. I grew up in Dorchester at a time where people who looked like me were not doing the narrative surrounding us a lot of favors. There's a lot of things that went on in my neighborhood that, again, I'm not saying they all have the same reason, but when it comes to bullying me and my parents, like screaming at my mother out the window, "You ain't raising no nigga, you ain't raising no nigga," like saying things like that.
Right.
Like that. No, there's no poverty. There's no bad upbringing that's forcing you to do and that's the thing. I grew up. I don't have a record. Shocking. I managed to. My parents. They're not. My parents always said they both have said this themselves. They weren't the best teachers, but they provided the best they could. Mm-hmm. I learned most of what I know from life experience, but my parents did a good job of keeping me off the streets.
Right.
So I'm not in a position to judge people who did what they had to do to either earn money or to eat or anything like that, because I know that there are situations where, again, good or bad, especially back then, sometimes younger children, younger adults of color lived a certain way because they felt like they either had to or because it was the easiest way to survive. Mm-hmm. Yelling at my mother that she's not raising a real black child does not fall under that. You're just assholes. Threatening, like intimidating my father when he's on his way home from work because you don't feel like him. By the way, and I've said this before, I'm half Spanish, so I'm not even black enough to be called fully black. And these kids are bullying my parents and mocking me for not being black enough. So we go to Roxbury, which, as I've said on stage, my mother said, Dorchester's dangerous and we got to go. Where are we going? Roxbury. Safety is your issue and you're going to go to Roxbury? Okay, well, all right. She meant well. She wasn't well, but she meant well. So Roxbury is where I had to learn how to defend myself. Mm-hmm. That's the first time our house was broken into. That's the first time that fights were actually started, in my neighborhood. And lived there for 8 years. And then from Roxbury, we moved to where I live now in the South End in 2002. So that's logistically where I've come from. And one of the questions that I always get asked on these podcasts is, where did Respect the Ladies come from? Growing up in Dorchester and Roxbury, I mentioned my mother passed away in my arms when I was 16. That is like, as far as before I turned 18, on the latter end of things I experienced. The first time I ever saw a man and a woman that wasn't in my family, and like not a boy and a girl, but a grown man and a grown woman interact like in real life outside of television, that I didn't know, was in 1991 on Seaver Street in Dorchester. Because I used to go to the Holland School for part of kindergarten and then first and second grade. And I live on Hewan Street at the time, which is like Franklin Park Zoo is right here. You cross over to Columbia Road. You pass. I think you pass Erie Street, and then the next street down is there's one street before that, and then there's Hewins, and then after Hewins, the next one is Seaver. So it would be me and my mother walking, or sometimes my mother wasn't in her right mind, so I would just walk, and it was probably risky to let me walk to school at first and second grade, but I'm still here, so it's fine.
Right, 100%.
But I was walking to school one day, and on Seaver Street, like just a few clicks down where I could see it. I'm walking, and I look to the right, and a woman gets thrown in the back of a car by two grown dudes. That's the first interaction I ever saw in public between a man and a woman, or men and women, is a woman being kidnapped, essentially, and God knows what happened to her after that. So already in my mind, that is kind of shaping my idea of what women are like. They aren't, in my mind, like, they're not safe. Women, girls, whatever. They're not. Again, I'm first, second grade. I don't have articulation for it at the time. But I'm like, like, this is that's not good. I'd never seen anything. I'd never thought. I mean, what could I have seen at that point? But I never thought that was something. I had no concept of women being thrown in the back of a car.
Right.
So that happens. And for the sake of time management, I will just say a lot of similar things would happen that I would see on my way to school or see when I'm going to visit my friends. It's just like catcalling, women being chased down, women being followed, women being, screamed at, women being grabbed. Like, there's just a bunch of things that I saw between that moment and before I even moved to Roxbury. Just every day when I went out, something was happening. Something was happening that a woman was either unsafe or being. It was really. Really weird that, like, and again, I'm a child. I don't know why all this is happening, but I do know that it's not right. And I'll never forget a cousin of mine. I won't say his name on the air, but a cousin of mine told me the first joke I ever heard when I was like 4 years old. I was like 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. And he said, "Hey, Lloyd, what's all that useless skin around a pussy called?" "A woman." And I didn't get it then, and then I grow up and I'm like, that's not funny. To me, it wasn't funny because I'm already out there seeing all this stuff happen to women everywhere. Right. So, like, to me, I'm just like, what? Okay, fine, good for you, cuz. And then we go to Roxbury, more of the same. And now I'm in public. Now I'm in, like, middle and the Boston public school system, middle and high school level. So, girls are just being treated great by the young boys. And then all of this leads to a day in 1999. I've told the story before, but school bus. I was on the yellow bus. Fuck off. I was on a school bus, and there was one girl. Like, there was a sign. This person takes this bus it wasn't one of the big yellow buses. Like, everybody has assigned buses they take every day. At least for the year. There was one girl on the bus and a bunch of boys, and all year long they're taunting and teasing. Oh, we're gonna, and they didn't until the very last day when they did. I don't know who's watching. I don't want to use any sensitive wording, but let's just say that on the last day of school, every boy besides me on the bus went to the back and attempted to have their way with her. Now, there's like 7 other boys on the bus. And I say boys and girls because we're not men and women yet. I do think there's a distinction for that. My father is calling me. Okay. I'm going to let that go for now. I'm going to finish the story. I know I'm not going to win a 7-on-1 fight. Yeah. But I can't just sit in the front of the bus and do nothing. So I go to the back and I pull one boy off. I pull one away. And then I get sucker punched. I get pinned down. My arms pulled behind me like this and a blade put at my neck. So I'm just like stamped to the bottom of like like just under this, like I can't do anything. I can't move. My face is just like planted to look under the seat next to me. And even if I did try to escape, there's a blade right at my neck. So even if I could be successful, like I could not.
Right.
And so I'm held there while the rest of however many of them weren't on me, because again, I can't see what's going on other than right here. While the rest of whoever wasn't on me is over there doing what they intended to do to her, and I had to listen to that for 45 minutes. And the question I'm always asked is, what was the bus driver doing? I don't know. I'm pinned down. I can't see anything. I hear somebody saying like, drive, drive, drive. So I'm assuming that maybe the bus driver was being threatened to keep going while this happened back here. Mm-hmm. And I know back then, like the yellow buses had like those giant dashboards with a bunch of buttons, because eventually police and fire department show up. And I'm thinking maybe he pressed something to contact. I don't know. Again, I'm pinned here. I can't move. I can't see anything. I can only know what I hear, and I can only assume that the bus driver found a way to contact emergency eventually. But that, along with everything else happened previously in that period between the incident in Dorchester and that is where Respect the Ladies comes from. Because like I can't ignore the fact that women aren't safe and that women are dehumanized, and my adult life only furthered that, just not in the way that my childhood did. But that is that explanation, because that's a very big part of my identity.
For sure.
Yeah, that's in a nutshell, and more than a nutshell, but for time's sake, that's enough nutshell.
All right, so one of the last questions I have for you in this segment before we switch over to sports is, what are two things that are your favorite things about Boston, and what are two things that you hate about Boston?
Two things I love about Boston. It's my hometown. Yeah. So naturally, I'm a homer. Yeah. I love it. I love, ironically, the sports. You mentioned that. Yeah. I love the sports lore of the city. If there's one thing that we have positive going for us, whether we live through it or not, is we've always been pretty darn good at the athletics. So I would say our sports culture is one thing I love. Things I hate about Boston, I don't like the fact that being an asshole is considered a point of pride. It's like, I get it, you know, it's Boston, you know, asshole, you know, fuck you, kid, you know, stop being such a softie. Like I get that it's endearing. I don't think being mean to people for no reason is something to be proud of. Yeah. And I don't like the fact that it's a part of our culture. The other thing I don't like about Boston is that there's nowhere to fucking park.
Yeah,
anywhere that matters. Yeah. The only places you can park your car are places where it's either going to get stolen or broken into. Right. When you go someplace that matters, there's nowhere to fucking park.
Right. 100%.
Like, there's plenty of parking spaces in Dorchester and Roxbury. Yeah. Also, plenty of not cars there the next day in Dorchester and Roxbury. You go somewhere that matters, like, you know, outside of Venue or Cambridge or Newton or somewhere like that. Oh, there's you want to park your car, you gotta pay $15 for 25 minutes, or rent $300 a month for a garage, or don't own a car, which is why I don't own a car. So yeah, that's the other thing.
All right, so we're gonna transition over into sports and wrestling and stuff.
Alrighty.
One of the first questions I have is, what do you think about the Red Sox streak that they've been going on? They finally bailed themselves out. Can it last? Do you want them to bottom out so they can take accountability? Do you not?
I don't think them bottoming out is going. In theory, it should. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if the new management will use that as a barometer of anything. Right. So, otherwise, I'd say yeah. But it's nice. Red Sox winning is always great. It it feels late.
Yeah.
Like I don't think a lot of people. Oh, we're going to the World Series. I've heard that a lot.
Right.
It'd be nice.
It's a nice streak.
Right. It's.
They were saying earlier that the streak is nice.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make up for the season.
No, I don't. I find it hard to. If it was a month or two ago, I might be more enthusiastic about it. It feels like it's like ice cream before the chair. Like, this isn't going to make anything that happens in the future any less dire.
Right.
But it's nice now. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to the World Series. I don't think we're going to win the title. I don't think that I'm not getting the sense of hope that a lot of people are getting from it. Like, it's nice. I like that they're winning because they haven't been doing a lot of that up until this streak started. So it's like if the 96 Bulls, instead of going 72-10, if they lost 62 games and then won their last 10, it'd be nice. What good is it going to do? 10 games winning streak when you've got no chance of doing anything else. Again, I know the Red Sox aren't that dire, but it's just like I've been beaten over the head too much to enjoy it. I'm just like, yeah, it's not cool, nice. It's not going to amount to anything.
I hear that.
So it's nice.
From that perspective, do you watch the Bruins at all?
I keep up with the Bruins.
Okay. So from that perspective, I like to ask people the question is from a general manager standpoint, because I know both of them are not liked in the city. Mm-hmm. Which one do you not like more? Sweetie or Breslow?
I'll never dislike management in Boston more than Rick Pitino when he was here.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's done a worse job than him in my lifetime anyway.
Okay.
But both the Red Sox and Bruins management have this. Well, now Red Sox management, they have the same issue. And you know what? The Bruins are more concerned about making money than winning.
Yeah.
That's been the case for a long time.
Right.
At least the Bruins are making money.
Right.
The Bruins win. They don't win titles. 2011 was a fluke. They don't win. They don't win titles. I mean, I enjoyed the fluke, but what have they done since then? What did they do before then? Bobby Orr's not walking through that door.
Yeah, I agree.
But at least the Bruins win enough to make the fans want to see the games, which means the Bruins are at least making money. The Red Sox, back when they were winning, you couldn't get in the building.
Right.
They were always sold out. I know this because I've lived 5 minutes away from Fenway Park, and I have never been able to see a Red Sox game live. I've seen the Red Sox play live in California, but like back when I wanted to see the Red Sox.
You've never been to a game?
I've never been to a game.
Wow.
I wanted to see the Red Sox in the 2000s and in the 2010s. They were always sold out. You couldn't get in the building. I would go in like January, February, like trying to like get early tickets, and like by the time I get to the box office, I can just walk over to freaking Lansdowne, and like they're always sold out. Or they'd be like, check back in a few weeks. You might, oh no, we're sold out. We're sold out. They were always sold out. So it's like. Or if they weren't sold out, they were so expensive that like you couldn't get in the building when they were winning. Like from 2003 to like 2014, you couldn't get in the building. Yeah. They were either always sold out or it was too expensive. So I was either priced out, or when I could afford it, there were no tickets available. I don't really want to see the Red Sox live right now. I'd go, but I don't the Red Sox since 2021. That's it. Just to say I've been to a game.
Me and my buddy, we went to over like 35 games in the 2018 season. And that was the year to go.
Right, exactly. That was the last time that they were worth going to 35 times.
Right.
God bless Mookie Betts. But like,
that was such a great team.
But it's just like the Bruins. I'm gonna say I have more disdain for Red Sox management because now they've had to bring the ticket prices down just to get people in the park because nobody wants to go watch the Red Sox, right? I mean, now they do. The last several games, like generally speaking, from 2019 and 2020. Or let's say post-pandemic for argument's sake. From post-pandemic to now, they've not been a must-see team.
Right.
They've had to bring. 100%. They have to start putting together. They have to start putting together packages to get people in the park, which means they're not making money. And I know the Red Sox management has changed more recently, but still, this current Red Sox management. Absent of the Henrys or whatever you want, or whoever's pulling the main strings, money has been their focus abundantly. It's not even trying to hide it. Their business. They want to make money. They want to sell hot dogs. They want to sell beer, and they want to get people in. They can't even do that. Right. Bruins. They get people into the Garden. Bruins season tickets still fly off the shelves. People still go to see the Bruins.
Yes, they do.
So if you can't even be if your first goal isn't to win, which it should be as a sports franchise,
right?
But if your goal isn't even to win, and you still can't even do the thing that you're trying to do that isn't even winning, then you double suck. The Red Sox aren't concerned about winning, and they can't even make money. Despite not caring about winning. The Bruins don't care about winning, but at least they're making money, which is what they want to do. Right. I would prefer if they wanted to win, but they want to make money. They're making money, and the Bruins had some. That's not the Bruins. The Bruins aren't a bad team. They can't win, the big one. Right. But they just recently, not that long ago, had the most winningest season in NHL history. Right. So at least they win. And they give you hope, and they're fun to watch. Yeah. If
Bruins for me are like a team where you put all your eggs in one basket. Mm-hmm. You're just okay, this is it.
Exactly.
Then they blow it. Right.
Exactly. They will get to the first or second round. They're always a playoff team. Right. I'll give them that. They're always in contention, and then much like the Celtics since 2008, before 2024, they're always there. And they can't quite break them, but they're always right there. At least they're winning. At least they give you something to invest in. Right. The Red Sox have not been able to do that. So I'm going to say Red Sox management is not that it's a high bar to clear. Okay, yep. But they are the lower for me.
Just the other elephant in the room about the Celtics and them getting rid of Jaylen Brown.
Okay. So I know that there's an apron cap thing that they've done the last couple of years that supposedly explains why we got rid of Porzingis and Drew Holiday and everybody that helped us win the freaking title. Yeah. I said this on a Celtics forum. I said, if you didn't do that, the justification is money.
Right.
The reason why we traded Jaylen Brown was to free up money. Yeah. I'm not going to pretend that I know more about finances than NBA 2K. Mm-hmm. That might be true.
Right.
Doesn't mean it was a good trade.
Right.
You didn't get Giannis. And if you didn't get Giannis,
you weren't gonna make that trade.
You may as well have kept JB. Yep. In hindsight, you should have got Giannis. Yeah. If you were gonna do a trade for JB, and again, I don't think Giannis would have been the answer. I mean, Allen Iverson's the only answer, but not that I don't think Giannis would have been the cog that in Boston that people think he might be, but he would have been a better option to trade Jaylen Brown for than 2026 Paul George.
Right.
And that's the other thing. Paul George, tremendous amount of respect for Paul George as a basketball player. Yeah. One of the best basketball players of this generation. The last 10, 15 years, there have been few players better than Paul George. The problem is Paul George is not that player anymore.
Right.
I am not taking anything away from what Paul George, and I'm not even saying he's this bad, but Paul George in 2026 is Vin Baker in 2002. When the Celtics got Vin Baker in 2002, Vin Baker, one of the most underrated power forwards of the 1990s.
Yeah.
Like he was no freaking joke. Like he was like Vin Baker. People who didn't see Vin Baker play for Seattle and play for Milwaukee, they will never understand how good Vin Baker once was. But by the time we got him, he wasn't. Gary Payton, who also played for the Celtics for like a year, like either before or after he went to the Lakers, and that thing failed. Gary Payton was not the Gary Payton that was shutting down Michael Jordan in 1992 and 1993. Gary Payton, when we got him, was a shell of himself. Paul George has not stepped on the court yet. So I would love to see him turn back the clock and prove me wrong. I would love to see him have a season. Like, remember when Derrick Rose came back? He was playing for a different team, but like Derrick Rose came back and had like 50 points one game or something like that.
He was playing for the next day.
Yeah, he had like one game where he was like 19. He was like 2009 Derrick Rose all over again. It was like for one game.
One game, yeah.
But like for that one game, Derrick Rose proved that he could still do it.
Right.
If Paul George has an entire season like that, where he's like 2016, 2017 Paul George, like
right.
I don't expect that.
I see Paul George as like the player that was good. I really liked all of his days on the Pacers. Mm-hmm. I feel like after he broke his leg in the Olympics, he kind of just got traded everywhere. But he's the most traded and valued player in the league as far as like. Shy is in Oklahoma because of like Paul George.
Exactly.
It's crazy how like all those trades piece together in that sense.
Like Paul George is one of those players that, again, people are 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Paul George for JB would have been a no-brainer.
Right.
Like. You give me 2019 Jaylen Brown or 2019 Paul George. Yeah. Even though I don't think Paul George was as good as he was a couple of seasons prior. In 2019, he wasn't even as good as he was in 2017. But he was still Paul George. Yeah. He was still really good. Like he was and Jaylen Brown, not bad.
Right.
He wasn't the Jaylen.
He wasn't dynamite yet.
Right. He wasn't who we've had in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Right.
So like 8 years ago, this trade would have made sense.
Right.
Now, again. Finances. The only justification you can make is finances. I said this on the board. If you don't get rid of Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Al Horford left on his own, so that's not our fault. But like if you don't get rid of Porzingis and Drew Holiday and that crew, and then you trade Jaylen Brown now, okay, because at least there's still pieces from our championship team there to where the team doesn't seem as bare. I don't want Jaylen Brown to go, but I mean, if you must get rid of Jaylen Brown, at least have a third of the team he won the title with still here, because you have several great role players around Jason Tatum, and you never know how good you can do. We thought we were going to go nowhere when Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward both got injured in that season, where Gordon Hayward went down in game 1, and then later in the season Kyrie Irving went down, and we still went deep into the playoffs with Tatum and Brown, even though they were nowhere near proven yet. Yeah. So I'm not even saying that you have to. I mean, you want to have your stars, but it's like you trade Jaylen Brown, but we still have Porzingis, we still have Drew, we still have that core. I'm not as mad, but you get rid of all of them, and then now a couple seasons later, you trade Jaylen Brown for 2026 Paul George, which is like trading for 2016 Kobe Bryant. And 2016 Kobe Bryant, beast, not 2011, not 2010, not 2019 Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, he would have told you that. So I don't hate the trade. I hate the circumstances around it. Yeah. If we did things differently after we won the title, or if we didn't trade Jaylen Brown but did everything else we did, fine. But I'm talking a lot about this. I'm gonna bring it home. I said this online. I think you saw the post. Yeah. I don't want the fans to take it out on Paul George. Yeah. I know they're probably going to. Yeah. He's probably going to get booed. It's not his fault. He didn't make the trade. Right. Paul George got traded. He didn't decide to come here, and we had to cut Jaylen Brown to appease Paul George. Paul George got traded.
Right.
You want to get mad at Brad Stevens? You want to get mad at the management? Do that. You want to chant fire Brad or fuck you Brad like the Knicks did for Isaiah Thomas all those years, or like, you know, you want to do all that. But the only thing is, I don't hate Paul George. He got traded to a basketball team as an NBA player. If the Celtics take it out on him instead of making it clear they're mad at Brad Stevens. If you want to say fire Steve, I don't think you should fire Brad Stevens, but fire Stevens, say that. Don't boo Paul George. Yeah. That's the only thing and I know they're going to. I know that they're going to shit. They've already started shitting on Paul George. They posted a picture of him arriving in Boston. They're like, fuck you, Paul, get out of here. It's like, it's not his fault. Right. Like, we don't want to see JB go. He did not make that decision. Right. So I hope we don't take it out unless he goes out there and just, if he goes out there and let him play first. Let him play. If he shits the bed, boo him for playing badly. Mm-hmm. But let him play first. We at least let Antoine Walker play first before we started booing him for missing too many three-pointers. Let him play. Right. And then decide if you like him or not. But other than that, not a bad trade, just it shouldn't have been done under these circumstances.
Now, do you have a problem with him going to the Sixers? Because everybody's like, hey, you know, he went to somebody in the East.
I mean, again, not his choice. Yeah. I don't like the fact that the Sixers got him, but again, that's on Brad. Yeah. You know, like it's not like LeBron left and chose to go here, or Ray. And here's another thing. I was going to say Ray Allen, but Ray Allen was getting dog walked by management and by Rajon Rondo. Ray Allen was getting mistreated like hell. It's not even Ray Allen being a free agent and choosing to go to the Heat. Like, I don't blame Ray Allen for that because, I mean, I don't like that he went to the Heat. I don't like the fact that he went there, but it's like the way he was getting treated in Boston, much like Jaylen Brown was treated here. I'm not mad at him, but I'm like, did you have to go to the Heat, Ray? I don't blame him for leaving Boston and saying, fuck you, Rondo, for talking to me like that. I'm Ray freaking Allen. You're going to talk. You won a title. You won a title because of us three, and Rajon Rondo's gonna tell Ray Allen what the fuck you, Rondo. Great, love Rondo. Fuck him. You're not Ray Allen. You ain't. Rondo was not. I'm tangenting here. Rajon Rondo. Yeah. Won a title with the Celtics. He did. That he would not have won if he wasn't passing the ball to Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. Yeah. And sometimes James Posey. What has Rajon Rondo done since then? Not much. As soon as he left the Celtics, he was the best player after the Nets trade.
It's the Disney bubble.
He left. Oh yeah, he won with the. He won that. Yeah, he did that. But you know what? You know what? He wasn't talking shit at that point. Right. This man's talking shit after winning a ring with three of the greatest players of all time. You're gonna ball up to Ray. You're not stepping up to Sam Cassell. You're not stepping up to PJ Brown. You're not stepping up to Big Baby Davis like everybody else was. You're gonna talk shit to Ray. 2009 Ray Allen. Right. Rajon Rondo, who at that point there are stormtroopers who hit more shots than he did, and you're gonna talk. So I don't blame Ray Allen for walking out of a situation where he's getting talked to by Rajon Rondo, who again does not have the resume to speak. Rondo, you want to talk shit to Frick? You want to talk shit to Kendrick Perkins? Okay, go ahead. You want to talk shit to Shmush Parker? Go ahead. You want to talk? You can even talk shit to Derek Fisher. You're gonna talk shit to Ray Allen. Ray Allen, who was a first ballot Hall of Famer before Rajon Rondo was wiping his own ass. And I don't blame Ray Allen for walking away from that. You didn't have to go to the Heat. So it's not that.
He could have gone to the Mavs.
He could have gone somewhere else. So it's not that situation. Yes, a rival got him, but it was still a trade. Right. I'm not mad at Jaylen Brown for going because he got traded. I'm not mad at Paul George for coming. He got traded. But it does suck that the team that got him was the Sixers. Right. Joel Embiid has to stay healthy for it to mean a damn. Yeah. Trust the process.
Tyrese Maxey, though, and Jaylen Brown is going to be a dynamic duo for sure. I'm scared to see that one. I know Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's fragile.
When he's healthy.
When he's good. Yeah,
when he's healthy, he's on. But when he's not.
Right.
He ain't there.
100%.
Joel Embiid is not going to get up after tearing his Achilles and hit 2 free throws like Kobe Bryant did. He's going to be at home watching the game. So
right. 100%.
So I don't like the fact that Jalen went to the Sixers, but is it going to work in the Sixers' favor? That remains to be seen.
Right.
Is it going? Are the Sixers going to win a championship?
That remains to be seen.
Exactly. Like it's not as when Kevin Durant went to the freaking Warriors, I'm like, oh fuck, it's over. Yeah. When Jaylen Brown goes to the Sixers, I'm like, okay, they're gonna be better, but
yeah,
it doesn't mean they're gonna win. We all
I was telling somebody that before, that there was like a formula that, I want to say the Celtics brought it. People always say the Celtics were the ones to bring that formula.
The super team formula.
Like the big three formula, and it's just like...
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
We did that in the 80s.
Yeah.
Bird, Parrish, and McHale.
Right.
So it was kind of our thing before, but I mean, technically, yeah. In a new millennium, or in a new era, it was kind of like we brought it back.
Right.
But I mean, we did Parrish, McHale, and Bird 20 years before even, if you want to make the argument, before Olajuwon, Pippen, and Barkley in Houston, which was technically it didn't amount to much, but that was technically another big three.
Right.
You could make the argument, and it's always Jordan and Pippen. You could argue Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman was a big three. I consider them a big three, but it's always Jordan and Pippen. But like nobody was rebounding the ball like Dennis Rodman, so I consider him part of the big three.
Right.
But the Celtics normalized it after 2000, where first it was the Celtics, then the Heat did it, and the Heat was really the last one to do it successfully. Brooklyn tried it with Harden, Durant, and Kyrie. Didn't really work.
Yeah.
The Lakers tried it with Nash, Gasol, Bryant, Nash, and Dwight alongside Kobe Bryant.
Brooklyn tried it, but Brooklyn, they couldn't keep all of them on the court.
Exactly.
I'm not a big James Harden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think he's, again, he's one of those people that 10, 12 years ago, undeniable, but like by the time he got to Brooklyn, and he was never playing defense, so but so I do think that the Celtics made it popular, the super team thing. And again, even the Celtics, we won one title with them. I think we would have won if Garnett doesn't go down in 2009, 2010. I think we would have at least gotten to the.
We would have won that championship.
I think we would have at least gotten one more.
We would have had Kevin Garnett and Shaq if Shaq didn't tear his Achilles.
Exactly. So I
know Shaq was on his last year.
But here's the thing.
He was giving it his all.
He wasn't, and that's the thing. I'm sorry.
And you can't tell me that the body of Shaq and the body of Kevin Garnett is going to
2010 Shaq
make a difference.
2010 Shaq gets a bad rep. 2010 Shaq was not nearly as bad as people remember him being. When he was on the court, he was averaging double-digit points.
Right.
He was averaging somewhere around 6 or 7 rebounds. He was averaging 2.5 assists when he was on the floor, which for 2010 Shaq is not bad. When he was on, I say this a bit there's a meme, Celtics Shaq washed. I'm like.
He wasn't that washed.
Go back and watch the games. You can go on YouTube and find games from every era. Go back and watch Shaq actually playing for the Celtics and see the game see the work he was putting up. Shaq on the Celtics, he was hurt. He was barely there, but when he was on the court, I'm sorry. He did better for the Celtics than he did for the freaking Cavaliers.
Right.
So
100%.
So if we had Shaq, Garnett, Pierce, Allen, Rondo, Perk healthy. If Rasheed stayed one more season, and then Nate Robinson, if we him off the bench, oh my God, that's a team to be scared of. But point is, although the Celtics would have gotten at least one more, we did have Garnett the next season. We got to the finals, and then we forgot how to score in the fourth quarter of the NBA Finals against the Lakers in 2010. So even though we made it popular to have super teams, we failed. as a super team. We got that one title. We got the one title in 2008. We accomplished that.
Golden State accomplished it.
Exactly. They got a super team and they won multiple rings with them.
Because people forget when Miami became a super team, when LeBron went to Miami, they lost to Dallas.
Yep, they lost.
And
Their first.
Like, how the fuck did they lose to Dallas? Like, all I can really remember from that Dallas team was like Jason Terry and Dirk. And
that's the thing. Like, and they let's see, that's the thing. Dallas had the 2004 Pistons effect.
Right.
They had solid role players.
Right.
Like, and 2004 Pistons didn't even have at that time a big superstar. Like, I mean, they had Rasheed Wallace, you had Chauncey Billups, but they weren't like Rip Hamilton was not Kobe Bryant or Jerry Stackhouse, in the 90s, or Grant Hill. Like, Rip Hamilton was a solid shooter, and then you had Rasheed Wallace was a star. He was not, he wasn't Duncan, he wasn't Garnett, he wasn't Gasol, he wasn't that tier. He was just a really solid player. Around the 2011 Mavericks, you had solid role players who did their job, which is more or less what the Pistons did in 2004. The Pistons did not have a super team or even a dynamic duo. They just won. And the Mavericks, again, the Heat, outside of Bosh and LeBron and Wade, they didn't have much of a core. They had those three,
right? But
until the next season, they didn't really have much. I mean, he had 2010, 2011 Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and I love Zydrunas Ilgauskas, but his peak was with the Cavaliers. Right. So like you got him, but like there wasn't much outside of the three. When it came to Boston, outside of the three, you had James Posey, you had Eddie House, you had Kendrick Perkins, not scoring, but he was a guy. You couldn't move him in the middle. You had people like later you had PJ Brown, when you needed him. You had people like Tony Allen, who as good of a defender as there was in the late 2000s. He didn't do shit on offense, but like you need somebody to get out there and stop you need to stop Kobe, you need to stop Dwayne Wade, you need to stop Derrick Rose, you need to stop OJ Mayo, you put Tony Allen on them. Right. End of the story. Right. So the 2008 Celtics had a core around their big three that the Heat didn't. The Heat had the big three, and then again Ilgauskas and Udonis Haslem, who solid. You need more than a big three and Udonis Haslem. So it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I
always liked Udonis Haslem.
I like Udonis Haslem, but he wasn't going to be. He's not going to be the James Posey,
of course,
or Eddie House off the bench that they had in 2008. So the Heat did the super team better because they won two. I think they won 2 rings. The Heat did. The Warriors, they became a dynasty. The Cavs, when LeBron went back, they got their Cavalier ring. So the Celtics, even though we made it popular, we were easily the most unsuccessful super team of the new super team era, because we got that one ring in 2008, which we needed to do, but we did. Again, I know if Garnett didn't get hurt, we might have won the next year, but he got hurt. So when you look back, it's like we failed. We might not have, but we did. The Celtics got into the finals without Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, but we couldn't get past Orlando without Kevin Garnett. Like, if you look back, we failed. So we may have been the popular super team, but we were the least successful. Right. We didn't win our next title until 2024, and I'm glad we weren't bad for very long. We were always there. We were always good. We made it to the year that Kobe Bryant got his revenge on us. We made it to the finals, and we were winning in Game 7, and then we started missing shots. Everybody on the floor became Antoine Walker, and they couldn't hit any three-pointers. We became what we were last year against the 76ers, just shooting, ain't hitting nothing. So we can't even blame an injury for that. Yeah, Perk went down earlier that game, but like we were winning. We lost. As a collective, we had Rasheed Wallace, we had Eddie House was still there, we had Rondo, we had our core. Nate Robinson was even there at that point. We had a team, and we lost to the Lakers. So we failed. We are the only super team that was hyped to do great that did okay. So doesn't matter if you made it popular if you couldn't even do it the best.
On that note, I'm going to switch over to football. Patriots. And then we're about to start training camp.
Yeah.
Watching the Patriots.
So, my thoughts on the Patriots. While I not so subtly make sure I didn't miss any important phone calls, my thoughts on the Patriots are, we had no business being in a Super Bowl last year.
Okay.
Based on where we were the year prior. Mm-hmm. Which is why, as much as I hate to say, I thought Gerard Mayo got a raw deal. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the fact that he only got 1 year to give it a try. Mm. I can't say I'm mad about it now. Mike Vrabel steps in, and in 1 year,
turns the entire organization around.
Makes the Patriots Super Bowl contenders.
Yep. And AFC contenders.
Mm-hmm. Like, we went to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, East contenders, though.
We didn't... Now, we got to the Super Bowl, and... we got to the Super Bowl, and I think the Undertaker and Kane did better in the main event against DX and Crown Jewel than we did in the Super Bowl last year. But the fact, and now he's laughing so hard because he gets that reference, because the Undertaker and Kane had no business in
terrible match.
He had no business. The Undertaker and Kane had no business in a wrestling ring in 2018, and they still did better than the Patriots did in the Super Bowl last year.
And DX had no business being in that ring that day neither.
Triple H had. Shawn did okay. Shawn, he looked, not that it was hard to do. Shawn looked the best out of them. It isn't his fault that the Undertaker couldn't catch him on the outside.
Yeah.
I go back and I watched that match once, and I'm like, Shawn looked.
It's painful to watch that match.
Shawn looked good. Shawn didn't look bad. I can't say DX. I didn't. No, okay, look. Side tangent. I'm going back to the Patriots in a minute. Yep. I didn't want Shawn to come back out of retirement. I wanted him to keep his word. I wanted him to hold that because I felt like, he had the perfect send off. Don't do what Ric Flair did. Shawn did, he looked good. He looked good.
Right.
Shawn did well. Triple H should have stopped wrestling after he put over Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. That's all I'm going to say about that. But Shawn looked good. I can't say DX had no business in the ring that night, because I think if it was Shawn one-on-one with either The Undertaker or Kane, he might have been able to carry one of them to a 3.5-star match.
Yeah.
He might have been able to carry them to as good of a match as he had at WrestleMania 14, which was better than anybody thought it would be, given his back issues. The Undertaker and Kane did better than the Patriots did last year in the Super Bowl, and they did not do well. But the fact that we even got to the Super Bowl, we had not been anything since Tom Brady left. I guess Bill Belichick did need him. And we finally get Gerard Mayo, one of my favorite defensive players of all time on the Patriots.
Same.
And I'm thinking, all right, we got a guy who knows the system. We got a guy who knows defense. That's how the Patriots won all their championships. They won them on defense, especially the first three. I mean, we technically won all of them because of Adam Vinatieri, because how close the games were. But it was defense. Tom Brady did his job, but it was Ty Law, it was Lloyd Malloy, it was Willie McGinnis, it was Richard Seymour. Yeah. It was the defense that was winning.
Right.
So and Gerard Mayo
100%.
And Gerard Mayo kind of represents
Hall of Famers up and down that defense.
Exactly. And then a couple of years after that, when we got into the late 2000s, and it was Gerard Mayo who was kind of like the cornerstone of that defense. When it was Asante Samuel and all these and Darius Butler and all these people, and not the caliber that we had before.
Right.
But it was still the defense that the Patriots needed to win. We had more offense. You got Randy Moss. You got plenty of offense. But Gerard Mayo was, in my opinion, he was of that kind of Teddy Bruschi ilk, where like him in the middle, like as long as he's in the middle.
He was basically Brewski's replacement.
Exactly.
When Brewski retired, we basically drafted him like right after.
Exactly. And he did.
If he didn't get hurt the first couple years of his career, we could be talking about a different story. Like we could probably be seeing Gerard Mayo last into the other dynasty more than just the 2014.
And I think that Gerard Mayo, again, I'm not saying he replaced. I mean, he did replace Teddy Bruschi. I'm not saying he did as good as Teddy Bruschi, but I mean, for his era, he could do worse.
Right.
You know, he was
because people forget we were in like a 12-year period. It's just like we were there.
Exactly.
We made it to the AFC Championship game, but it was just like the Celtics. We had to get over that hump.
Exactly.
Sure, we've made it 7-8 straight years to the Eastern Conference Championship, but if you don't make it over that hump, your season's still a lost season.
Exactly. You can only win the conference championships, the AFC, they only account for so much.
Right.
It's the same reason why I say the Bruins they won in 2011. They're in the playoffs every year.
Right.
But at some point it's like, all right, when you gonna win? It's like you got there, you're almost there, you know, when you win, okay, when are you gonna get the chip? So the fact that the Patriots went from the basement to the Super Bowl in one season, and the fact that Drake May stop comparing people to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Tom Brady bootlicker like a lot of people are. I acknowledge he's like the greatest quarterback of my lifetime. Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback of all time. And Johnny Unitas is second. Tom Brady, after that. I said it. But in my lifetime, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen play live for his entire career. And obviously, Tom Brady has the hardware. I acknowledge that. I'm not a Tom Brady religious fanatic.
Yep.
But I will say that whether you love Tom Brady or you hate Tom Brady, you can't compare anybody to Tom Brady.
Right.
At least not since him. Like, there's nobody playing right now at this current point. If you want to say Patrick Mahomes one day, maybe, I don't think he's going to be Tom Brady, but if somebody wants to make the argument he could one day be the next Tom Brady, he might not now.
I think Patrick Mahomes has one more Super Bowl.
He might. But, like, I say this because, like, right now, there's nobody playing right now that could be called the next Tom Brady.
Right.
Not right now. There could be a player in 2 years that's playing right now that we get, but maybe. Right. But like Tom Brady, like whether you like him or not,
we have to get a player to Joe Montana's number before we
exactly before you call him next Tom Brady.
Before we have those conversations.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm saying.
So the fact that
Mahomes is probably the best, the next one who has the best chance.
Right.
To get to 4.
I think Patrick Mahomes is probably the most high-profile quarterback playing right now.
Yeah.
Since Brady's retirement.
Yep.
Now that Brady's not playing anymore, I think Patrick Mahomes is probably the biggest quarterback star in the NFL from a just if not the best playing right now altogether as far as players who have been here for a while, like who's playing still, like since Tom Brady retired, Patrick Mahomes is that next. Like he's the guy. He's, in my opinion, the most high profile. Best, you can argue. Most efficient, you can argue. Most consistent, you can argue. But he's the most high profile quarterback in the absence of Tom Brady.
Right.
The fact that Drake May was getting Tom Brady comparisons. I think he had a great year.
Yeah. Better
year than anybody thought he would. It's so too soon. It's not fair. It is not fair. You're harming the kid. It's not fair to compare Drake May to Tom Brady. It is not fair.
I agree.
He's not Tom Brady. He's only 2-3 years in. One day, Maybe. I don't think so, but if he is, we don't know it right now. We didn't even know that Tom Brady was Tom Brady until after his first season. The first time Tom Brady was ever on the field for the Patriots, he got sacked. And everybody thought that, we need to fuck this Brady guy. We need Bledsoe back, man. He got sacked on his first play. Where's Bledsoe? And eventually, we didn't know. I remember that. I remember because I used to listen to WEEI and the Sports Radio Network. I used to hear people calling. I used to be all over that stuff. And after that game where Tom Brady got his first play, he was sacked. The first snap he took after Bledsoe got injured, Tom Brady was sacked, and people were already writing off Tom Brady. But and even Drew Bledsoe. I mean, hey, credit where Drew Bledsoe. When Tom Brady went down and Drew Bledsoe had to come back in the playoffs, he single-handedly got us over that championship game hump to the Super Bowl when Tom Brady was healthy again. So even Drew Bledsoe wasn't useless after he went down. Right. But we didn't know Tom Brady was Tom Brady until at least after his first season. Right. You don't compare a guy who, again, not that he had a bad year, but it was a team effort. Patriots were a team last year. Yeah. It wasn't Drake May and company, where sometimes you could say, it was Tom Brady and what. No, it was the Patriots got to the Super Bowl. Drake May had a good year. He did not have a Tom Brady year. And you can't compare. And you know what? If you want to compare him to Tom Brady, we would have won the Super Bowl. Because Tom Brady didn't go to the Super Bowl and lose. Not very, if ever, not very often. So Drake May got to the Super Bowl. Good for him. He didn't win. That alone means you can't compare him to Tom Brady. And I'm not trying to shit on the kid, but people are already comparing him to Tom Brady. Yeah. No.
I hear that. No. We gotta improve our offensive line. And we got. I know Mike Vrabel's had his controversies recently, and I'm not dismissing that. Look. It's still my coach. If they decide to pull a Ike Udoka on him and do him like the Celtics did him, you know what? Ethically, I'm not going to complain about it. They better hire Mike Tomlin.
I'm going to say, but you better replace him with somebody who's going to do what we thought Gerard Mayo was going to do. Mike Vrabel did what we thought Gerard Mayo was going to do, and he did it in 1 year. So I like the Patriots' chances of being competitive. We got to the Super Bowl, so you can't rule out the possibility that we might get there again. Do I think we're going to return to our mid-2000s or late 2010s glory? No, I don't. I need to see something.
Do you think we could be a playoff team?
Yeah.
This year?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we can.
Okay.
Do I think we will?
Okay.
I think we can.
I think it comes down to the first 4 games of the season. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna end it on that. We're gonna go into a little bit of wrestling before ending off the pod. We went into all 4 sports.
Oh, we did.
On this one.
We did.
So we're gonna end it on a little bit of wrestling.
Yes.
We were talking about how you used to go to independent shows before. So
before I went to the independent shows like Ring of Honor and Big Time Wrestling, where I met Jared King Lawler, my first wrestling show was rewind. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 3. Mm-hmm. I don't remember much from when I was 3 years old.
Right.
But I do remember seeing the visual of Hogan and Andre on the television. Yeah. Because my Uncle Bobby ordered that pay-per-view. And I remember, again, that's how I know how long I've been watching wrestling. Obviously, I couldn't put together the storylines in my head until I'm 5 or 6 when I can remember. But I know I've been watching wrestling since the late '80s because I distinctly remember. And my father has those old instant cameras where you take the picture and the thing comes out. My mother took a picture of me sitting with my father watching Hogan and Andre. The moment that Andre, the moment right after Hogan slammed Andre, and he's holding his back, about to hit the leg drop. My mother took an instant picture of me and my father watching, and Uncle Bobby and Aunt Elmira watching WrestleMania 3 at the right after he slammed Andre.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
So I can say that I've been watching wrestling since 1987.
Mm-hmm. Have you met any wrestlers?
Oh, I've not met all the ones I've wanted to, but I've met some wrestlers. I've met Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah.
I've met Mick Foley. I've met Bret Hart, probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
I've met John Cena 3 times.
Okay.
Were
you able to see him?
Can't confirm. I might have my DVD signed by a Sharpie in the air. I actually first met him after his album came out. He did a signing at so many stores on Heinz Convention Center and the T station.
Yeah.
And the store next to it. It was TJ Maxx. Before that, it was Best Buy. Before that, it was like 20 years ago. It was Virgin Tower Record Store, whatever.
Records, yeah.
And John Cena and Trademark did a signing there, and that's the first time I met him. Mm-hmm. I have sort of kind of met. I say sort of kind of because they were on the other side of the fence signing for us before a show. I had like one of those giant Raw programs, and so on the other side of this fence, again, I didn't see them. We tossed the program over, and they were signing, and they tossed it back. So via that, I met Shelton Benjamin, Kane, Mickie James, Maria, Coach, Eric Bischoff, and before he was Morrison, Johnny Nitro.
Nice.
In that one span, just tossing the program over the fence to get on that way. I met Howard Finkel at a house show at Agnes Arena because I was imitating him the entire night. I was like, the following contest is scheduled for one, and he's looking over at me. He's like, shh, because as he's making the announcements, I'm mimicking him. Actually, no, sorry, it wasn't Agnes Arena. It was TD Garden. It was 2004. He was there. He was at the Agnes Arena, but it was 2004. It was a house show in 2004 where it was Chris Benoit, Triple H, and Kane in the main event, and that was in Jericho feuding with Trish when Trish turned on Jericho, and it was Jericho versus Tomko. That's why I first started giving Trish all kinds of hell, and she hated me forever. But Howard Finkel was there. I met Howard Finkel for the first time, and I kept. He was like, the following contest. I was like, it's scheduled for one fall, and he's like, shh. And it is for the Intercontinental Championship. And he's like, And so at some point he came out after one of the matches. He came out of the ring, and he was like, "You're really good, but you're not getting paid for this. Let me do my job." And I'm like, "All right, Howard. All right, Howard. I'm sorry. I'll keep it quiet. You're really good though. I like that." So I got a thumbs up for my Howard Finkel impression from Howard Finkel.
That's awesome.
I'll take it. Awesome. I've kind of met Trish Stratus. Okay. She's yelled in my face at shows while she was a heel twice. In 2004, the house show I just mentioned, I was like, Y2J, slut, and because the whole crowd was chanting, and then she looked directly at me and was like, why don't you keep quiet? You wish you could. And then next year, the Agnes Arena, 2005, it was Road to WrestleMania 25. I was screaming at her again, and she got out of the ring. This is when she had the black eye still. She comes over to me and she's like, say something now. I'm like, oh, go away, please. You did Jericho dirty. Please just go away. And a friend of mine had a picture, a picture of Trish right here in my face, just like not having it. And so later that year, I was at a show where the show where John Cena had the You Can't See Me match against Daivari in the main event.
Oh yeah.
I was front row for that show. I could actually be seen on the hard cam in a Kevin McHale jersey all night. And then Trish was on that show. She's a babyface now. She was like her and Mickie James. They're not enemies yet, but she's come back. She's a face now, and I'm like, and I'm in the front row, and she comes because Mickie James beat Victoria, I think, to become number one contender, and Trish comes out to celebrate with Mickie, and I'm like, maybe because she's a babyface, she won't be mad at me, and I'm cheering, and she looked at me and she was like, and then even as a babyface, right. she's like, nah, fuck you. So I've kind of met Trish Stratus.
Okay.
I saw Vince McMahon was pulling out of the TD Garden, Flea Center at the time, and pulled down his window to like say hi to all of us. Like we were all standing, like like the fence. Like there's one side of the fence. They put like a guardrail where the cars go in and out near the fence.
Yeah.
And the cars go in, and we're on this side of the fence, that side of the fence. So we're on this side of the fence. Vince is coming out. He pulls down the window. Like he's like, "Hi, hey pals, how you doing tonight?" And this one guy freaking just goes over to the car. Oh my God, Vince! And he's like all over like the hood. He's like, oh my God, Vince! Oh Vince! Oh Vince! Vince is like, we thought we were gonna get a moment with Vince McMahon. Vince pulled up put the window up, had security pull the guy off the car. He had to be removed because he's literally on the hood of the car going, oh Vince! Oh Vince! Like he's literally doing that and like ruined it for everybody. Like Vince McMahon never interacts with the public in the parking lot. Like he did not do that. And the one time we think like he's in the passenger side. He's like
breaking character.
Exactly, right? And even when he's a baby, like and at that time he was like a baby face. Like he was like 2005 when he was kind of like not mean, but like Vince usually you have to go to a signing or you got to go to like a press event. Like he's not a parking lot meet you in the parking lot guy. So like Vince, maybe at Madison Square Garden, but like never anywhere else. So like he actually is gonna talk to us, like Vince McMahon,
right?
And we're all like, oh shit! Look, he's like, hey, you looking forward to the show tonight? Thanks for being here tonight. Good to see you, pal. And like this one guy ruins it. Like we're all like again, Vince doesn't do this. A friend of mine, my cousin has been going to the show since like he was since WrestleMania 14. Like he's been going to shows, and he said Vince, even during house shows, Vince never interacts in the parking lot. Sometimes if he's in a corridor in a concession, like he might, but never outside. So the one time he's talking to the fans outside, this car humper ruins it. So I sort of kind of almost met Vince McMahon. I talked to Chris Benoit on the phone in 2006.
Okay.
This is really airy in hindsight, but he was at Game On. Like he did a signing at Game On or whatever is Game On now at Fenway. Like he did a signing there, and I couldn't make it because I wasn't feeling well. And a friend of mine named Ricky went to get something signed for me, and he said, "Yo, can you talk to my boy Lloyd? Man, he wanted to be here, but he couldn't be here." And Chris is like, "Yeah, give me the phone." And so I talked to Chris Benoit on the phone for like 20 seconds. Like he's like, "Why couldn't you be here, man? You not feeling well?" Like, "Yeah, Chris, I just can I call you Chris?" Like, "Yeah, it's fine, man. You doing all right? Your friend Ricky's here. I'm gonna sign this for you, okay?" I'm like, thank you, Chris. "Yeah, man, get better, man. Get better."
Man, that's crazy. So who are some of the wrestlers you want to meet? Because you said there's some that you want to meet.
I mean, my chance to meet a lot of them are probably gone because like they don't all travel the way they used to. But like, I wanted to meet Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where I wanted to meet Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan was actually the first celebrity I ever met.
That's incredible. That is really cool.
I was about 7 years old.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to meet him, and obviously, can't meet Hulk Hogan now unless you believe in, and depending on what you believe, you don't want to end up where he probably went.
Right.
But like, Shawn and. I've slapped hands with Shawn's in the audience, like when he goes around the ring. I've done that. It's close I got to do it. I was front row when he hit that super kick on Shelton Benjamin. I was there that night.
That's beautiful.
You can actually see me in the YouTube clip. And being there for that, like, I mean, I didn't meet Shawn Michaels, but I was there for probably his second most famous moment in Boston, behind dropping the title to Stone Cold. Like, I don't know if Shawn Michaels had a more famous moment in Boston. Like, he's had more famous moments, obviously, but a more famous moment in Boston than that super kick.
Right.
Like, dropping the title to Austin, that super kick.
Yep.
I was there for that super kick. So,
I agree.
There we go. I wanted to meet Stone Cold. He still travels, so there's a chance. I wanted to meet Bobby Heenan so bad. And he was doing conventions all the way up until he died. So like there was always that chance, but no, couldn't do that. I wanted to meet Jim Ross, but Jim Ross was hard to meet unless he was at a signing. He very much kept to himself. I met Lita too. I forgot to mention I met Lita. As much as I hated him, I wanted to meet Triple H because like he's a great villain, and I never forgave him for not putting over Booker T at WrestleMania 19. But I'm like, if I ever meet him, like I've talked plenty of shit to him. Like he, as a front row, as somebody who sat in the front row for like 2 years straight, I said so much horror. I remember one time the night that he faced it wasn't the Big Show. Was it the Big Show? No, Shawn faced the Big Show that night. Triple H faced Chris Benoit. The night that Batista came out and pulled the rope back, it was Triple H had to beat Benoit to get into to advance something, like to get his title shot. He had to beat Chris. He had to beat Chris Benoit. And like I know what it was. It was the Gold Rush. It was the Gold Rush because like it was in order to progress in the Gold Rush. Edge eventually won the Gold Rush when Lita turned on Kane and did all that. But like Triple H was reaching for the ropes and Batista came out and pulled it back. And then Triple H was like wandering around the ring and I said, "How does it feel, Triple H? Yeah, now you know what it's like to get Booker T. You got Booker T, Triple H." And then Triple H like kind of looked over and was like, "Fuck off." And like just getting that reaction from him, like I got Triple H to react like that. I never met him, but I got his character to be like, he's a fuck. Yeah. Like, fuck. And he's selling, like he got knocked around the ring. He's trying to sell, but like I just would not, like I'm like right here where I was during the Shawn Michaels match, and he's like right here, and the entire time that he's like selling, like he's walking past, I'm like, yeah, you got Booker T, Triple H, you got Booker T. How does it feel to get hunted, Hunter? He's like, fuck off. He broke selling just to like mumble to me. So I never met him, but I'll take that.
Alright, cool. I will wrap it up with the question I ask all my guests at the end here. What do you have as far as dreams and goals for yourself moving forward?
Oh man, dreams and goals. I could have answered that question so much easier 10 years ago. Honestly, in the world that we're currently living in, my dream and goal is just to maintain. Yep. I'm 40 at this point, so like my dreams and goals are, I'm already doing a lot of them. I'm living. My independence is on hold, taking care of my father. He's still here. That's a dream of mine. Mm-hmm. I'm doing well in stand-up comedy. I didn't think that would be the case even 7 years ago, but I'm still doing that. So I think that's a dream I'm kind of living. Mm-hmm. And if I can, I hope to maintain that. I don't have any fame aspirations at this point. Like I said, that contract signing kind of took the stars out of my eyes. Like if I become successful, great. If I don't, but I'm still doing shows locally. If I can travel, if I can go to New York, go here, go there, and then come back home to dad, the next day, I'm good. I think any goal or dreams that I had, I'm probably as close to living them right now as I am. Between comedy, between me and my father living in peace after getting rid of some very, very bad company, which is a different story for a different day. The Michael Jackson Karaoke Act is still a thing, and people still enjoy seeing it.
Right.
I'm as close to living my dreams and goals as I'm probably going to get.
All right. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah.